Hello everybody, welcome into week 2 of the Telegram Football Insiders here on the Telegram Sports Channel. I'm Josh Walfish, joined as always by my colleague Ethan Joyce. Ethan, you saw how excited I was last week for week 1 of the football season. This is the real week that I've been excited about. As we were talking about earlier, it's been more than 8 months since Rocky Mount High won a state title, and no mere moments after I submitted my story from Chapel Hill, I was already circling this date. Apex Middle Creek, the best 4A team arguably last year, one of the better ones this year, comes to Rocky Mount to take on the defending state champion Griffons. You're going to be there. What sort of are you looking for from this game?
Well, we've talked about the offensive line a lot for Rocky Mount, how it's still growing and coming together. Now, South Granville were able to get into the backfield, and I think they had 7 tackles for loss in that game total. I imagine that Apex Middle Creek is going to provide a little more pressure than South Granville did. Their defense looked wonderful against Wakefield last week.
Yeah, no, they held Wakefield's leading rusher, I believe an ACC commit actually, to something like 40-some-odd yards and 20 carries. So no defense to really be sleeping on. I'll be at the Edgecombe County rivalry between North Edgecombe, Southwest Edgecombe. It's been a little bit one-sided recently. Southwest has won the past 12. North Edgecombe has not been any Edgecombe County foe since 2003 when they went to a state title under former coach Raymond Cobb. But this seems like it could be the year that the Warriors can get over the top. This is not the strongest Southwest team that we've seen in recent years. It's a team that's a little bit banged up with injuries. Eaton Holmes was able to really, in the second half, assert itself defensively and really limit the Southwest Edgecombe offense. So perfect opportunity for North Edgecombe to win. But on the flip side, Southwest Edgecombe's defense is getting some of their key stars back that they lost last week in the second quarter. So that could change the entire complexity of this game. In reality, this is a game that the first team to double digits, I think, is going to win. This is one of those 14-6 type of games, in my opinion, because both teams are going to have good defenses, and I'm curious about to see how the offenses are. I know you, moving on to a different game, Southern Nash headed to Wilson Benningfield. You went down the Bailey the other day to talk to Coach Brian Foster. What were some of the things you observed from the Firebirds practice?
I mean, they seem to run a very fun practice. I'm a little jealous because it's just a blast down there. And I'm still learning the wing tee, need some help on that. I wanted to see some of these kids that I've read about a couple of times now. Kendrick Bell, biggest set of traps I've seen in my life. I don't think he even wears shoulder pads. But, you have a Kendrick Bell that has 4 touchdowns last week, and it's going to be interesting to see how he follows that up this week.
I'm curious because last year when we talked about Southern Nash, we talked about Taj Deans and his ability to go both ways. But one of the people we didn't really talk a whole lot about, maybe we should have, was Zach Foster and sort of what he was able to do offensively at quarterback. What did you see from Matt Hampton, who now is trying to take over for Zach and had a good first game?
He was making some solid throws in practice, and I mean, it's really going to be important in this next game because you come off of a rushing attack or a rushing game like that they had against. I'm blanking.
Northwood. It's okay.
Thank you.
That's why I'm here.
They have a great game like that. You're going to expect the next opponent to stack the box a little bit, so you're going to get a few opportunities to get some passes out there, and Matt Hampton's going to have to stand up in the pocket and really get those going.
See, personally, I'm excited to see the Southern Nash defense against Wilson Benningfield's offense. Benningfield always has a ton of athletes. They always seem to really love to spread you out offensively. And it worked wonders for them week 1. I'm curious to see how that's going to evolve as they face a team like Southern Nash, who defensively is fairly solid. We saw it last week against Northwood, only giving up 13 points. Yeah. Curious to see how they stack up against the Bruins offense. Some other quick notes from around the counties, around the Twin Counties. Northern Nash hosting Elizabeth City Northeastern. The trendy upset pick of the Telegram Sports staff to take the Knights at home. Northeast Carolina Prep and Rocky Mount Prep are both playing very winnable games at home. Their home openers trying to get their first wins of the season. Northeast Carolina Prep hosting Kit Pride, the team that just beat Rocky Mount Prep. Yeah. The Jaguars hosting Raleigh Word of God. Tarboro hosting Washington, a game that normally we'd be talking a lot about, but Washington having a little bit of a down year. I think Sports Sawyer said at one point that this is one of those teams that, if they can survive the first couple of games, Havelock, Washington, they could be decent, but it's about surviving those games. So I like Charborough big, and I'm being told that we have to wrap it up. But regardless of that, check back in Saturday morning. Ethan and I will break down what is sure to be a exciting week 2 here on the Telegram Football Insiders.